I moved to Miami about 2 years ago to come to school. I used to run on the beach by myself, and I'd see Raven and a bunch of runners running in a group, and I love running with people. It's always like, it just makes the time go by so fast, and you always have good conversations.
And one day I heard some locals talking about this South Beach legend that looks kind of like Forrest Gump, and I said, oh my gosh, yeah, I've seen him, what's his deal?
One day I scheduled my run to where I'd meet with their group, and just started asking them questions, and they were like, come run with us. And so I started running with them from then on, and just, it was one of my favorite things to do here.
One day I went to the beach and I was laying out, and I sat up and the Raven was standing right in front of me, and I said, hey, did you just finish a run? And he said, no, I'm just swimming, I don't run till the evening. And I said, yeah, I know, I've seen you. And he said, yeah, I know, I've seen you.
You know, I've moved around enough to know that a place becomes home based on the people that you meet and who you surround yourself with. Once you find that connection, that group, that family, whatever, my whole outlook shifted as far as Miami goes.
We started talking, and he asked me when I was born. I said I was born on August 1st, 1982, and he said, August 1st, that was a Sunday. And I was like, oh, was it? And he said, yeah, I'll never forget that day, because I was running that day, and they were dredging out the beach, and I was running under a pier, and a wave washed ashore, and I tried to dodge. It was a Sunday, so all these people were out picnicking, and he tried to dodge the wave, and he cracked his head open on a piling from the pier. He had to go to the hospital and got, I think, 17 or 18 stitches, and the doctor said, you know, you might have a concussion, so you have to stay here for observation or whatever. And he said, no, I haven't finished my run yet. And so he went back to the beach and finished his run that day.
I have always asked Raven to photograph him, and I'm like his little paparazzi. I'm always around him. And so it started as a still documentary project. That's all I intended.
I do it for the exercise, but also for the stories. I usually kind of run next to him and just pepper him with questions like, worst weather day, go. Worst animal encounter, go.
I think it was the second time I went over his house and really kind of got to see his surroundings, and you know, talk more about why he does what he does and get to know his mind a little bit more. I kind of shifted the direction and started interviewing him and interviewing the runners. I'm
drawn not only to the Raven story, but also the story of this wonderful, eclectic, fantastic community that he has cultivated in Miami Beach. You're never gonna leave a run saying like, oh, I talked to someone, they were like a consultant or something. No, you leave the run and you're like, oh, I talked to them, was fascinating dog walker, and or this butcher, yeah, I met him, he's really cool, or this lifeguard told me a story about his first save, or running into an octopus, seriously. You can talk to a judge, you can talk to a former convict, you can talk to, it's rare to find a community so accepting. And so welcoming to anyone. And although I mentioned that on a run, and the runner next to me said, it's not so much that we're welcoming, it's just that we have a really low standard of normalcy. And so, yeah, everyone is welcome.
There's so many facets of the story that you can't capture in a still image. And that's why I started doing what I'm doing.
Every time when I leave the run, I cannot get to my computer fast enough to write down the stories.
You know, he's allowed me to go on doctor's visits with him and go to the hospital and really get to see what he does on a daily basis has done to his physical form.
Even yesterday, I was talking to some people, and I said, do you know who the Raven is? Yeah, is that the guy that runs every day? And the story pretty much stops there. I really hope that through Kickstarter, we can raise the funds to allow both Mary Beth and me to tell this story and make sure that it gets told right.